death. We grapple with death. We stand by an empty grave and we look down as the body is lowered into it, and we mourn and we weep. We have loved ones, and when they die, we cry. Why? Because death, at least in this life, seems to be the end, and momentarily we forget that to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord for those who are believers. For those who are not believers, they go to the place of the dead to wait for the great day of judgment. But for you and I today, we look at the resurrection of Christ, and it gives us hope. Listen to these words of the Apostle Paul in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 20 to 23. But now Christ has been raised from the dead, the first fruits of those who have fallen asleep. For since by a man came death, by a man also came the resurrection of the dead. For as in Adam all die, so also in Christ are all made alive. But each after his own order, Christ the first fruits, after that those who are Christ at his coming. You and I can approach every day of our life with this great assurance. We can stand by every cemetery plot with great assurance. We can attend every funeral service with great assurance of those who have died in Christ, because we know that because Christ is risen from the dead, they will also be raised. You see, the Bible gives us this affirmation. He said in verse 23, Christ the first fruits. That means first comes Christ, and then comes many like him. Christ the first fruits. Because he lives, we too can live. And when's all of this going to take place? At his coming. Oh, one of these days Jesus is going to come again, and the trumpet is going to sound, Paul writes in this passage. And on that day, the dead in Christ shall rise, writes Paul in 1 Thessalonians. We will rise first, and then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up to meet the Lord in the air. Oh, what a day that's going to be. But you and I have the hope of the resurrection until that day. How good, how glorious. Oh, Father, thank you for the hope of the resurrection that sustains us even in the darkest hours. In Jesus' name.